I just hope I can finish this. I need to tell it. I can not tell it. But I don't have time to finish it. And that what's horrifying. Because if I don't tell, then it might get the rest. I have to. I'm on very limited time. But I'm going to be as detailed as possible. So it doesn't get the rest. Please bear with me. Please listen to me. I guess it all started 3 months ago when we found that secret room. The room in the sewers with the little trap door under the rug. When that happened, everything went wrong. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I have to tell the full truth. Or else it will get the rest. I am 19 years old. Me and my 3 best friends have always been fond of the sewers. Over 100 years prior. The table had what looked like torture tools set on it. I recognized a thumbscrew. Josh cut himself on some kind of twisted knife hook thing. Hammers and nails. I shudder thinking of what some of the other instruments were used for. There was what looked like the remains of a skeleton on another table in the corner of the room. A rectangular table with metal rings at each corner, and decayed ropes through those metal rings. I felt sick. We decided then that we needed to get out, but Alan tripped over the rug and kicked it to the side. There was a trap door under it. Again, curiosity got the best of us, and we opened it against James's protests. It was pitch black down there. An old ladder led down, but that was it. We shined our lights in, and there were several things that might have once been human remains but were now nearly dust. At this point, something came over James. He climbed down the ladder into the hole against our protests. After a moment, his light flickered and then died. Nothing but silence from down below. We were just beginning to panic when he casually walked into view. He smiled up at us. His eyes were just emptying sockets. We all just stood there and stunned. Then our lights wavered and flickered out. Mine flickered back on for a split second, and we saw something standing behind him. I don't know what it was. Yes, it was it. The thing that's been hunting me and my friends. It looked very angry. It looked horrifying. It was dead blue skin and decomposing face. I could see its skull through its cheeks. It looked female. It had long, decayed hair and a bony frame. What looked like slashes in its dead cheeks and gashes around its empty sockets. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. I think that if I would have seen it for more than a split nanosecond, I would have gone insane. Gone insane or dropped dead. The light lasted for a fraction of a second that has haunted me every minute of every day since then. And then everything was dark and James was screaming. I ran. Everyone else ran too, but I was the first. We scattered, floundering in the dark, in the unknown. I don't know how long I was down there. It felt like centuries. Eventually, I made it to the surface. It was pitch dark in the dead of night. I remembered that we had gone in during the early morning hours. I went home. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. All I remember is turning every light in the house on, blasting Looney Tunes on the TV, and then passing out. The next day, I found out that only Alan and Chris had made it out the previous night. We went to the police and they organized a manhunt. 20 people went into the sewers that night. Me, Alan, and Chris were not among them. We vowed to never step foot in those tunnels again. The manhunt never found that room. He never told them about it. We agreed to tell them that we had found a section of sewer that we hadn't explored before and gotten separated and lost. The search was unsuccessful. After a week, the police were forced to call it off, and the rest is history. Over the next several months, everyone who went into those sewers has disappeared without a trace. Alan, Chris, gone. I'm the only one. Oh fuck, I think a light just went out. The darkness is coming, and I think I can see her or it, whatever the fuck it is. Shit. I'm the only one left. You can't go into the sewers. They need to find the room and shut the trap door and shut the other door so it can't get out. Oh god, the lights are going out. Oh shit. Oh fuck, look for my camera and shut the doors please. You have to credit to read more of his work at. We would go down there and explore, at first using rope, then chalk signs, then nothing at all, as we learned every twist, turn, and passage to the point where we could find our way around in pitch darkness. Something we had to do on at least 3 occasions when our flashlights died. What's strange is that we never found the room. It was when James asked to join us that the room was discovered. James was more of an acquaintance than a friend, but we often found him hanging out with us. We never told him about our excursions to the sewers. Most people thought of that as strange. We had known James for probably 6 months before he overheard us speaking about the sewers. Of course, he wanted to know what we were talking about. So we told him about how we went down into the sewers every now and again to explore. He, of course, wanted to join our next expedition. We said it was fine, and we went early the next Saturday. James wasn't very good with darkness. We found that out the hard way. Or maybe it was the darkness coupled with claustrophobia. I don't know. But once we got into the deeper levels of darkness, where the daylight ceased to exist and the tunnels became black, he began to hyperventilate. At first, it was almost unnoticeable. His breathing got quicker and he moved closer to me. Then, without warning, he began to breathe wildly, and he dropped his flashlight. It hit the ground and went out, and just like that, he was sprinting and screaming for help down the dark tunnels. We chased after him. Following his screams, we started to lose all of our sense of direction. We went deeper than we thought possible. We thought we knew these tunnels, but there was one small niche that we had never noticed before that led into an even older series of tunnels. We had to crawl on our stomachs to get through it, and it opened into a tunnel not much bigger than that. We had to crouch down to the point of being on our hands and knees to traverse it. It's in those same sewers that I am sitting now, with hundreds of white Christmas lights strung up around me and stretching down the tunnel. These 1T last forever. The battery I am running them off of can only keep them lit for a few hours, but they keep me comfortable and serve as a warning. The thing can stand to be in light. It's coming for me, I know it. But the lights will go out before it can get to me. So I'll know I'm hiding here because this is the last place it will expect me to go. It's looking for me. But it wouldn't think that I would go into its sewers, its very backyard. I know that it will find me and soon, but I just hope that this will prolong the inevitable. Long enough for me to get my story out. I've got my phone programmed to dial 911 in 2 hours. And I've got a camera with night vision, ready to record when it shows up. So the cops will know to stop it. I just hope they can. We eventually tracked down James, and he was sitting outside a big rusty door. It looked like it hadn't been touched in years. Somehow we convinced ourselves to open it, and oh my God, I just wish we hadn't. This crap would have never happened if not for that stupid door. My God, I am gonna die and I have to stop. Panicking 1T, do anything to help me. I am past help. Have I told you our names? There was me, Kurt, and then James, Alan, Josh, and Chris. Writing down facts helped me calm down. Just bear with me. I'm almost there. W went in the door. That was a mistake. In the room was an ancient chair and a threadbare rug. Not much else, except a table full of disturbing instruments. And a calendar. The calendar was old and faded, and a dark yellow, but I could just barely make out dates in the faded ink. The calendar was dated for 1903.